Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Opera with a Side of Fries. I am one of your hosts, Oren Gratis. I am joined by...
I'm Carl Tanner.
Frank Basile.
And today we have a very, very special guest. Carl, would you like to introduce him?
Absolutely. Everybody, welcome to A Side of Fries. We have a very good friend of ours, a close friend of mine, a fellow tenor and a big opera star, Michael Fabiano. Welcome to the program.
Great to be with all of you today.
Michael is, yes.
That's our clapping machine. Our clapping machine.
Yes.
BS.
Michael right now is probably one of the few opera singers, or one of the first. I'm sure he's one of the first opera singers in the world to be singing to be back after Corona. He's in Madrid. He's going to be opening the opera house there. And what time? When do you open, Michael?
July 1st is the first show, and there's 4 casts. It's a big deal here, but they're taking good care of us. Everything's very secure. They're very religious about masks and cleaning hands and getting temperatures all the time. We've had our tests. So they're really taking great precautions.
And let's say, what opera are we doing?
Traviata.
Traviata.
I think I said that.
No, you didn't. But our audience might want to know what Michael was singing over there, in case they're all ready to run over to Madrid.
Michael, I'm going to talk a little bit about you, but I want you to tell a little bit about yourself. Do you want to say anything? You want me to tell everybody about you?
You speak about me. I'm not. I don't like to do biographies.
You know, Michael,
a humble tenor, Carl. You should learn something.
Yeah, that's bullshit. When you get us together.
No.
Can you tell me what's in that
Okay.
cup there?
Now I've got to say, everybody, welcome to our good buddy there, Frank. Frank.
Hello.
Frank, we asked him to grow his mustache back, because if you take a look at Frank, we have a little quiz for Michael. Michael, look at Frank here. Pull your headphones off, Frank.
Okay, hold on.
Frank.
I can hear you.
I don't know if Brianna, I hope can you record this, Brianna? I know we're being recorded.
We're being recorded now.
But is the video being recorded?
Yes, it is.
Michael, they didn't expect this today, quite frankly. A couple of days ago, last podcast, they said, Frank, you had a mustache. What happened to it? I said, I shaved.
Okay, well, let me tell you, don't
grow it back. Well, there wasn't enough time to grow it back since the last podcast and this podcast, so I surprised them with this.
So, Michael, take a look at Frank. Who does he remind you of? Who does he look like?
Bryn Terfel.
Bryn Terfel? Oh, my God, I'm not going to tell
that big.
Bryn, if you hear this, we apologize.
Big apology to Bryn.
Look at him closely. Spoof up your hair a little bit more. Pull it out.
Think more late 70s.
I know you weren't around then.
I know exactly. You weren't born yet.
The furthest from an opera singer you can think about.
I don't think they're that far apart. Is he an actor?
He does act in movies and film. I hope you know him, but I'm going to tell you right now.
Go ahead.
You guys, Frank, you want to tell him?
No, you say it.
He looks like the porn star Ron Jeremy.
Oh my God!
Look right at him. Look, he looks exactly.
The problem is, I should have done one of these.
He looks exactly like. Well, you look. You can put it down there all day long. That's not going to be.
All right.
He looks exactly like Ron Jeremy. And he sent a picture about a month ago, and Oren and I just howled. So let's get back to you. Listen,
all right, I'm going to take this thing off now.
Go ahead.
And
so, Michael, you're born in. I'm not going to go through your whole background. But you're born in Montclair, New Jersey, and Frank was pulling up some stuff about you that he's going to talk about, and
I want you to talk about it.
Well, no, you're going to talk about it, but Frank, you and I we're tenors in common. We're buddies. You're like my little brother in opera. You were. I got to say this.
When I be your son, actually, biologically, he could. I mean, I'm not saying. I'm just saying he's young enough to be your son.
Yeah. But when Michael, did we meet in Santa Fe, or had we known before that each other?
I was a young little pup.
Yes.
In Santa Fe, 21 years old.
And I looked over and I saw you down there in the pit. I mean, down there in the little hole that you guys were. Remember the chorus?
Yeah, I remember.
It turned on, And I kind of got close to you and I listened to the voice and I realized, well, there's one that shouldn't be singing. Anyway, so no.
Wait, what were you doing there? What were you doing, Michael, in Turandot at the time? In the chorus or as a young artist?
No, he was in the chorus.
Oh, I was a tenor too. I wasn't
tenor.
even a tenor.
He didn't have the high notes, so they had to make him a tenor.
Then they didn't like my high notes, and today they don't like my high notes either.
Stop
So it's fine.
Oh, get out. Listen,
you're never welcomed at your own home, as they say, right? The king's not welcome.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah. Well, listen, when I heard you sing then, and then we end up being in Dresden together, and I was doing, I think, Otello, and you were doing
Trovatore. Well, you were singing Trovatore.
He knows your career better than you do.
Yeah, he does. And you were singing Lucia?
Rigoletto.
You were singing Rigoletto?
We end up hanging out there and getting to know each other really, really well and just becoming close there. And
we went to Berlin too.
We did.
What? Really?
Yeah, we hung out in Berlin. We decided to get the hell out of this dour city.
Now this is kind of.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Carl likes you.
We had a great time there.
Carl likes you until you start infringing on his repertoire. Then you're in big trouble.
Yeah.
Oh no! I don't like Trovatore. Actually, it's fine.
Yeah.
I won't do it.
And Aida and Turandot. And
I don't do those either. I don't like them.
Your Bohème is great, Michael. Your Bohème.
Yeah, keep it there. Stay in Bohème land.
There you go. So Michael, I'm not going to go over all your accolades because there's pages and pages of them. And, I do know that you won the Lice Albanese first prize, and I did too. I saw that and I love that. And I mean, to everybody out there that watches this program and sees Michael on here, you have to go and check out his Wikipedia page and Google him. But Michael, I know something about Michael that a lot of people don't know. Michael, why don't you tell them that maybe one day, if the opera thing doesn't work out for you, what you'd like to do?
Oh, man, I have a lot of ideas, Carl.
I know you do, but
he wants to start a podcast.
What have you and I talked about? Do you mind talking about that?
Yeah, I mind about certain things that we've talked about.
No.
You want to be a porn star?
No, but do you want to bring it up?
No.
Okay.
Move on.
No, we won't talk about it. It was something to do with porn, so we'll leave it alone. No.
No,
that
I wanted to be a producer of that stuff. That was what my plan was, Carl. Come on.
Well, okay. What I'm gonna bring up now is I want to talk to you about
casting director's the best.
Frank pointed this out the other day, and Frank can talk about it. Frank, Frank, Oren, and yourself have something in common with baseball. Why don't you guys talk about that?
We were all umpires.
I wasn't an umpire, but I just found that out. That is really. I'm surprised that maybe if you umped one of my games, I usually used to have it out with the umpires. So
and this is fun.
I had so many games out with players and parents and coaches. I have some great stories on the field, much better than an opera, I have to tell you. But wait, who here was the umpire? Who else?
Mike, I actually umpired one game in Bloomington, Indiana. My roommate of 4 years was an umpire like yourself, who did all the college and semi-pro things, and the second baseman wasn't gonna come at the last minute, so he asked me to sub and step in at second base as an umpire. Now you're not kidding, because Bobby Knight's son was on one of the teams and he was in the stands. I'm telling you, getting a wrong call is like dying in front of the whole crowd. You know what it's like. And one team comes running at you. Yeah, that's right. They come running at you, calling you all sorts of names, and the other person says, "Great call."
They throw bats at your
That's right. You're either loved or you're loved or you're hated on both sides at the same time. So I felt for you. I don't
know if you know this, but in 2006 on the Met Tour to Japan, they used to always have a traditional game on the Met Tours to Japan. They had the Japanese backstage crew would take on the Met backstage crew, and they would rent out. So the year we went, they rented out the Tokyo Dome. And so somebody had heard that I was a pitcher. So I had a concert with Renee Fleming that night. And it just so happened that I came from the Sitzprobe. I ran to the Tokyo Dome and I ended up pitching the entire game. And it was the first time we had ever beaten the Japanese backstage crew. And And next morning I woke up, and thank God the concert was the night before, because I've never been in so much pain in my entire life. And because I wasn't there to celebrate the win because of the concert, the entire backstage crew of the Met, this little Japanese lady came to my door, knocked the door, and she had this beautiful gold certificate. And the backstage crew had bought me like 2 complimentary massages. So it was great. So I was just saying,
Arigato gozaimashita.
yeah. So I'm just saying, next time we go to Japan, we should get you umping home plate,
Umping home plate. Umping home plate. Yeah.
umping home plate. But that was
hard, but I tell you, it's a hard job. It's
I'm
not
sure.
a easy job.
It's a
It's
serious
not an easy
career.
job. I have one story that's actually like very hellacious. I'll make it short. I was umpiring a regional final game between, I think it was Minnesota and Illinois, or I don't remember which state.
Oh, you were doing the Little League World Series?
Not Little League. No, it wasn't World
Okay.
Series. It was a Babe Ruth
Wow.
Summer League, but fine.
Okay.
I was the chief ump on
Yeah, it's a big deal.
chief ump for a 4-ump game.
Wow.
And and maybe it was 3, I don't remember, but there were more than 2. And there was a team that was winning. They were winning 6-1 in the 6th inning, and I was the home plate ump. And the team that had 6 runs was the visiting team, and they were up to bat. And a batter hits a line drive into center field, makes his way to second base. Okay, great. Next player comes up to bat. Ball comes in. Batter hits the ball exactly the way the previous batter did into center field. The guy that was on second ran all the way home. The ball was thrown in. The catcher tagged him at the plate. I called him out. I saw it as out. And the coach ran over and said, "Didn't you see the ball dropped out of the glove before it tagged the man on the base?" I said, "No, I didn't see it." He said, "Well, you should talk to the other officials on the field." I didn't. I just said, "It's my call. The game, it's over. He's out." Fine. The next batter came up and made the exact same hit. Okay, so the man that time advanced to second ran his way into home plate, and this time there was another one at home plate. Tag. It's really rare when there are 2 plays in a row that are tag outs at the plate. Okay, threw him out. Second one, he's out. Coach came out and yelled at me in front of all the kids, and "You should have given me that one, even if he was out." I said,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay.
Damn
No,
it.
go back.
Damn
Go back.
it.
Go back."
That's right.
Okay.
You can't win, man. As a
No,
cop.
I can't. No, I'm not finished. Next kid comes up, does the same fucking thing a 3rd time in a row. 3 pitches. I said, "Here we go." And I positioned myself differently, like where my ass was in his way. And then my ass was as big as the moon, so I was huge. And I was able to position myself in a way that the coach quite couldn't see me making the call. And the kid was tagged out again, and he was out. And the coach came over and shoved me against the fence, and I threw him out of the game.
He shoved you against the fence physically?
Yeah.
I threw him
Wow.
out. I threw him out.
Good.
Fine. Last inning, they're up to bat. There's 1 out, and there's a passed ball at the plate. And if you guys know baseball, a passed ball can be, a way for a team to earn another run. And so this visiting team had a runner on third that made his way to third base. And the catcher was fast as lightning and ran back to the back of the cage and dove to tag out the kid trying to steal home, and got him in time. And I called him out. And in the corner of my eye, down the left field line, like at the back of the field, a man jumps over the fence, comes running down the line, charging straight at me, pushes me again. This is the coach that I threw out.
You threw out of the game.
Threw out, throws me against the field, starts cussing. His kids are watching. I mean, I feel bad for them. The other ups come by and start policing everything. I said, "You have 3 seconds to leave the field, or I'm disqualifying your team from going to the national tournament." Okay. And that's it. They were a half an inning away from going. They were winning 6-1.
Wow.
I went
Wow.
3-2-1. Game's over.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And it was a big deal. And I tossed them. And
Did the league back you up?
Are you hiding out in opera? Is that what this is? You're hiding from the
yeah,
mob?
it's probably I'm hiding here. I think it got overturned later. It didn't stand, but they needed to see it. Now, I never had more soda and popcorn thrown at me as I left the field in my life.
I was going to say,
you know what?
you're in a much safer, you're in a safer
That
career.
was the right decision to make. I don't think.
Oh
anyone
yeah.
would have.
No, you're right.
No one else
in a-
would have done that.
yeah.
Those kids were learning terrible standards. Sports for kids and young adults should be about teaching, life lessons, and that's not a life lesson to teach.
What age were those kids there, Michael?
They were 17 and 19, 20.
Okay.
Gosh.
So, I
Young
mean, not
adults.
kids.
Oh.
They're young adults.
Yeah, they're young adults.
Yeah.
So listen, I want to ask you a question. What's Madrid like right now? Not the Opera House. What's the city like? What's it feel like for you?
So I'll give you two pictures, actually. I arrived to Amsterdam first. They significantly controlled me as I was coming through. They said I couldn't enter. And so my line was, which is an important one, they said, you can't enter, you're not an essential employee. I said, yes, I am. They said, a musician's not essential. I said, yes, I am. And in Europe, I'm a worker of the state. I work for the Ministry of Culture. And in fact, I'm opening up the cultural industry in Spain. So yes, I'm essential.
Is that a line they told you to give, or is that something you just know?
It was just something I did in my gut.
That's a big brain answer.
That's a big brain. Yeah, really.
I had to say it though, because I was like, what else fucking am I going to say?
Yeah.
So I said it, and
See, if it was me, I'd be back on the next flight back.
No, listen. I had
handcuffs.
Either that or get
I'll tell
arrested.
you what
Yeah, I was
happened
gonna
in a
say.
So they put me in this kind of little quarantine area, but it was fine. And they said, yeah, you're right. And they let me in after a couple hours, and I got through.
They called.
Now, I was in Amsterdam. I missed my plane to Madrid. They only have one flight a day right now between Amsterdam and Madrid. So I stayed a day in Amsterdam. In Amsterdam, it's like life is absolutely normal. It's perfect. No one wears masks. Everybody's in the streets. All the restaurants are open. All the stores are open. It's quite normal.
Maybe weed is the panacea for COVID. Maybe that's what they have to figure out.
I don't know if that's funny or not. It actually might be. I mean, it was eerie. I was like, how is this possible in this time? Is the media doing something crazy to us right now that we're not even understanding? I'm not sure. Because Amsterdam was great. Got to Madrid, it's a different case. I just have to say. Yes, the theater is going to open at 25% capacity, and yes, there's huge regulations in the theater, but everyone wears masks. Yes, restaurants and stores are open, but it's very empty. It's not normal here. Like when you walk into Plaza del Sol, which it's usually packed with people. There are no cars. There are very few people. It's very strange. It's eerie even for Spain.
I'd imagine it's kind of people don't have a lot of money to spend right now. I mean, we've been unemployed for 3 months, 4 months.
Yeah.
A lot of people live.
Uh-oh.
Could you hear me?
There's
Did you hear me? Did you guys hear me?
Yeah,
you said a lot of what?
I said a lot of people live from paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, they certainly do, and my hope is that we start to open up in a bigger way soon, so we can get the economy really roaring again as it was before this started.
So what are they doing in the theater? Are they separating people 6 feet apart? Everybody, they're going to mandate that?
So when you walk in,
Masks.
the regulation is must enter with a mask. You must dispose of it. They give you a special hand sanitizer. They give you a new fresh mask to then put on. Then they take your temperature. And then they let you in. And then our rehearsals, everything is separate. Even on the stage, they've created these kind of little islands for us to be on. So Violetta's on the other side of the stage from me.
Wow.
Do you think that this is a blueprint for how opera can come back?
Yeah.
In the United
Absolutely.
States?
Yeah.
You do. I mean, the question is, the United States.
I'm aggravated for our field to a degree, and I'm aggravated at our field to a degree. I'm aggravated for it because I find that the panic right now is overblown. We're seeing hospitalizations and the death rate drop quickly. We know that therapeutics are coming, and we know who this virus targets the worst. So for people like us, if you get on an airplane that's packed with people, or you go and look at these protests in the street and see there's millions of people all over the place, I simply don't understand why we can't come up with a framework of a limited run of performances for people in our.
Michael, what were the planes? What was the plane? What was the flight like? Was it packed?
It wasn't packed, but it was close. I mean, I was on Delta. I was in the business cabin, but I got upgraded because I've flown Delta for so long, and the cabin was largely full, and so was the plane. And then I flew KLM from Amsterdam to Madrid, almost full. At KLM, they were leaving a lot of the middle seats open, but I saw the plane, I don't know, 75%, which is pretty good for a
That is good.
domestic flight or a continental flight in Europe. And it was, I don't know, maybe I sound outside of the norm on this, but if a theater like Madrid or if other theaters in other places in Europe can figure it out, Americans can be crafty enough to figure out.
But here's the thing. I think that the issue is that you have a lot of government subsidy in Europe. So the ticket sales, I think ticket sales are the cost of putting on the production is so expensive, and because it's privately funded here in the United States, it costs more. The amount of money you're going to lose if you have 25% audience.
You rely on ticket sales, huh?
You're relying
no
somewhat on that.
That's the argument that I hear a lot of arts leaders using right now.
I don't mean to be I don't need to make that argument.
Their contributions are what's keeping them up.
Michael, explain why you think that's
I think
bad argument.
It's an erroneous point because, first of all, there's the exterior factors, which is we're risking losing our audience.
Mm-hmm.
The more we wait, the more we have people that are less inclined and actually more engaged with technology, less inclined to actually return to live performance. If anything, we need to show that we're doing live performance, even if in a very limited capacity on a lower budget, a tighter budget, than doing nothing. Because that's what this art is about. It's about live event. It's not about pre-recorded events and whatever. That's a state of mind. But the other factor is that, yes, theaters depend on ticket revenue for success. But if you look at the line item budgets and you can just look at the 990s, by the way, of any of these opera companies, it's all public. They largely depend on the generosity of organizations and large family foundations.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
There's no reason why in the spirit of giving and keeping the arts open that we can't look to these organizations or these other individuals that care deeply about the art form and say, let's keep this art form alive. Let's do something super creative right now. Let's do 5 different events that are different than the standard, but let's do it because we want to show the public that we're still alive and kicking and we're relevant. And it boggles my mind that we don't see that right now.
Let me ask you about you mentioned that Madrid, the opera house there, is going to be at 25% capacity.
Yeah,
how many
500 people for 1,800, so that's like 27%, but something like that.
And so they'll be every 6 or 7, 8 seats away and staggered, right?
I think.
What about the orchestra? Is the orchestra
Well, first of all,
smaller?
can I ask a question? How do they determine? I mean, I'm sure that the need or the want for tickets was greater than what capacity they're going to allow in. So I think it's going on the black market. Are we?
Yes, and that's why we're doing 27 performances.
Wow.
And not
Okay.
10.
Yeah. Increase the number of performances.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Smaller performances, but yeah.
And yes, we did take a pay cut. So we're singing more shows and we're not earning as much as we did. But you know what? In my opinion, it's for the greater good right now. And no one should be complaining about any of that. We should now let me be super clear. When things return to normal, because I don't like talking about new normal, I want the business to get back to doing great things. And we were doing good things as an industry in various places. Artists should be well compensated for their hard work and shouldn't be taken advantage of. Artists, singers are the leaders of our industry, not directors, not other people. Singers are. If there's no opera singers, there's no opera. And we have to remember that.
And the salaries for them, though, Mike, has been going down for a long time, quite frankly.
Michael, I want to ask you a question. So we're going to have people spaced in seats. We have the artist on stage. What about the orchestra? Are they doing half an orchestra? Yeah, and it's because because the orchestra sits so close together, the position's so close. I would assume that they're doing the same thing with the singers and breaking up. There's 27 performances because there's 4 casts. How about breaking the orchestra up and making it safe on them?
I think it's slightly reduced. I heard the number was 52 today in the pit, which is, I think, a Traviata would be maybe 64, 62, 65. But actually, that's really Verdi in the old way,
right?
In the 50s.
They're not
So
doing
it's fine.
Traviata with recorder or something, recorder ensemble or something.
Yeah,
They're actually going to have full orchestra.
It'll be a
Okay.
little thinner. But
It's
I understand
banjos
that they're
and a harpsichord.
no, but they've put up dividers. I understand they're putting dividers up between people. All instrumentalists that don't have to use their mouth are going to have to wear masks.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And the chorus, by
Practical.
the way, is wearing masks.
When they
So-
sing?
No, they have to take them off when they sing and put them back on.
Wow.
Very interesting.
Really? So will they be wearing them in the performance as well?
And they'll be stationary
cool.
though, right? They're not going to be moving around. They're stationary.
They're
right?
stationary and spread out.
Wow.
Gotcha. Now I'm going to ask you. I'm going to switch gears real quick. I want you to tell us a little bit about ArtSmart.
Oh, okay.
Art smart.
Yeah,
I want to. You know, you did it for me, so I want to do it for you. I want you to tell us a little bit about ArtSmart.
all I can say is I run this organization with my dear friend John Viscardi, and what we do is we provide free music lessons to children around the United States in underprivileged communities. And the way it functions is we have really highly qualified teachers teach one-on-one music lessons to kids throughout the school year. We were on course to teach about 30,000 free music lessons this year. And obviously that has not happened. Now we're looking at serious regulations in the public schools next year that's going to change our framework for next year too. Doesn't mean we go in, it doesn't mean we disappear. We just are adapting for the new way. So we've done that. We've gotten many kids into college that were not prepared to graduate before then. We've written a very exhaustively long. Do you see me?
You're frozen.
You're frozen, but we hear you.
That's all
Yeah,
right.
there
You're back. You're back.
Oh,
You're
like everyone's calling me at the same time.
Yeah. Tell them not to.
Right.
You're frozen again, but we can still hear you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm frozen anymore.
You're frozen with your tongue out, which is perfect.
Great.
That's the new headshot right there.
Can you
Yes.
can you see me? I still look frozen. No.
No,
No,
you're
no.
good.
Now you're good. Now you're good.
You're-
But stick
you're-
your tongue
Oh
back
my
out
God.
and just stay that way.
You're thawed. Now you're frozen again.
I know. I'm getting all these calls. Sorry.
Okay. Let me ask you a
I'm sorry.
question.
Just
Oh,
hold on.
him-
Let me get
he's,
off.
he's making a point, Carl. Let
Right.
him-
I was going to ask him about that. Go on.
What?
ArtSmart. You were
Oh,
finishing.
anyway, all it is an organization. All it is an organization that we take care of, getting kids that would not have the opportunity of graduating, to giving them a pathway of graduating through music education and teaching them how to plan and strategize to be successful in all their other coursework too. And we've gotten lots of kids graduated into college. Many of them that give us the direct thanks to us saying it. Now we have social studies and math teachers saying to us, thank you for your goal chart, your goal tree that you've built for the kids. Now they know how to
Beautiful.
do their homework.
What
Whatever
states are
it is.
you? What states are you active in right now?
Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Illinois, California.
If people want to know more, is there a website, someplace they can go?
Artsmart.org.
Artsmart.org. Okay.
Now I'm going to ask you a question. How do you fund your organization?
Well, ArtSmart's funded largely through the generosity of individuals, and that means Michael goes out and talks to people and fundraises. I mean, I do development for ArtSmart, and we have a big budget. We were on the course to have $1 million budget this year, and we didn't get there,
Wow.
obviously. But this year, we've already won a few grants that we never won last year, so that's a new thing for us. Believe it or not, we will be just as financially secure as we were last year. Our donors have recommitted for next year across the board, with an exception or two. We've gotten new grants. We've gotten larger grants from organizations that we already have money from. So we're going to have a good delivery of a program next year, so long as the schools allow us to come in. Otherwise, we will go virtual, and that's fine too.
What
I vote-
disciplines? I'm curious. What disciplines of the arts you teach?
Vocal music, but all kinds of vocal music.
Not just classical, right?
No,
Just-
absolutely not. We teach everything.
cool.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
Now I want to ask
Hungarian-
Michael about
Hungarian throat singing?
Yeah, yodeling.
Can you demonstrate Hungarian?
Country.
for me,
Now,
Carl?
I have to ask Michael about a specific performance that I remember that he
Thanks,
was
Mike.
in, because I think it ended up in an accident, right? The Lucia in New York a number of years ago. We had heard the tenor got sick, and we'd heard that we were all going to be blessed, and and Michael came in the morning of, right? The morning of,
No.
or the morning of, you were still learning the staging in Philadelphia, right, or something?
No, I didn't. No, I got called at 2 p.m. that day.
2 p.m.
And I took the train, and I got there at about 4:30, and they just rushed me through the staging, put a costume on me, and that was it. And oh my God, the one lucky thing is I had worked with Maestro Benini before, and I knew exactly how he conducted it. I had just done Lucia with him, I think, 12 months prior.
It literally seemed you had been working with him for months. It was ridiculous.
Well,
it was amazing.
Well, you both know your craft.
I am photographic, but I know when a conductor is good and clear, I know how to follow it. And so I tracked everything that he did a year prior.
But then you walked into something, right? And you ended up at
right
before the aria.
They gave me the wrong. They didn't give me the wrong exit. I shouldn't say that. I went off the wrong spot and ran into a light that was like not supposed to be an exit, and it was only maybe 5 feet high, and I hit my head on a corner of it, and it gashed the hell out of my head.
Oh,
it was
I
remember.
Blood.
It was right before the aria at the end, right?
Yeah.
Wow. How'd you recover from that?
Well, my ENT, Dr. Cho, said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yes, I'm fine. I'm just bleeding a lot. Can we fix the blood?" She said, "Well, Lucia's bleeding right now." I said, "Yeah, well, I'm not Lucia." So
it didn't even phase you. I didn't even know what happened. We did that whole last scene together, and you're singing your aria. I had no idea that you had this gash in your head.
A huge one.
It was amazing. It finished, and they're like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "What's going on?" I had no idea.
Hey, Michael, tell everyone your schedule after this. What do you have? What are we looking at?
Well, I'm going to be back here in Madrid actually doing my first Ballo in Maschera.
Let me back up. Let me back up before you answer that. Tell us what you've lost, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Because we ask all the artists, or the vocal artists, what they've lost and what you're supposed to have coming up.
Right. So, I lost. Let's see. I lost to Don Carlo Covent Garden. I was supposed to do Traviata actually here in Madrid in April. So this is a little bit of a luck turn that they just planned this. I lost largely my whole run of Carmen in Berlin. They just killed my Bohème in San Francisco.
Yeah, that closed.
And there will be other things, but I can't talk about it yet.
Mm-hmm.
You mean things that will be made up or things that'll cancel?
Cancel.
Yep. Yeah, all of us here, we're all in the same boat, and it's a damn tough time,
Yeah, I know.
Well, okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So I mentioned that we have a segment on the show called Stories from the Road.
Oh.
Okay. And I always love it when a guest goes almost to the limit of incriminating themselves.
Yeah, we had Latanya, your good friend Latanya Moore was on with us, and she told
that
no holds barred.
Crazy.
She really no holds barred.
We asked Latanya. I said, "Latanya, are there any limits? Are there any things that we shouldn't talk about?" She goes, "Hell no. Let the tape run and let's see where it goes."
I'll give you a story. I got a lot of them, so I got to be careful.
No, you don't.
Nobody's going to hear this. Come on.
Yeah, no one's.
All right. Many years ago, in a theater somewhere, is how I'll say
far, far away.
Yeah.
Far, far away. I was singing a La Bohème. Okay, and we were doing this very strange production where Bohème took place on a lake, and I was in a boat largely for most of the damn opera. Okay.
Famous director? Because I can guess who it is.
Nope, not a famous director. So I was working with a soprano who was a vegan woman. Okay. And well, let's just say that as a vegan, she really cared about the environment and the products she used to clean herself. And so
they never work.
So one day things just didn't smell that fresh. Okay, but I'm talking about above the waist, like BO.
Tree bark and porcupine ass.
BO. Like I can really be ripe sometimes if I don't do it right. Right? We all can be ripe. You're like, what the hell's going on?
Sure.
Well, this day I would say this woman was ripe, and I asked her. Well, I'm not going to say the name. What product do you use? And she says, I use a rock.
Yes.
I said, oh, okay. I use a stone.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And so the stone was the modus of getting rid of odor for the month and a half that I was rehearsing. And we can imagine what that was like. And so
The same stone? So the funk was on the stone.
I don't know. This is not the story. So
Okay.
it's just
Stone funk.
That's an
Exactly. She should use mud to smell better.
So the reality is, I go to the opening night. This is a nice person, and again, I just as much as she was, I could have been just as ripe. I could have eaten onions and garlic and smelled like shit. Who knows? But opening night, we're in the boat on stage, which is like 5 feet long, maybe by 2 feet wide. It looks kind of like a rowboat. And O Suave Fanciulla starts. O Suave Fanciulla. And in the boat, she just lets it rip.
Oh!
She just rips. Okay?
Oh.
She's sticking stone in there.
It wasn't a carnivore fart. It was a vegan fart.
Was it SBD, silent but deadly, or just
No,
enough?
it was ripped, and it was putrid. But the problem was
You lost your pitch.
It just was like there was a haze of fart in the damn boat for the entire duet because we were sitting low and only our heads were above the boat.
Oh.
You didn't want to breathe deep, did you?
I had to do everything without breath the entire rest of the duet.
Oh.
It was the longest phrase you ever saw.
Exactly.
All right, I got another one. Another bohème.
Oh my!
As Carl knows, I'm a real sucker for laughing. You can really get.
I love
really
this.
easily.
This is.
Bohème, there's a lot of playful moments in Bohème. It's a great opera to have story.
Well, I was working with another soprano, a very talented woman, I have to say, and we were sitting in the Café Moumousine every night, and every night while we were just doing our bullshit on stage and pretending we loved each other and la la la, she would say something ridiculous to me that would make me laugh hysterically. And she got me every single night for 4 shows of 5. And every night it was a different moment. I never could predict it when she was going to do it, but she got me. And I would always lose my way in singing for 6 bars or 8. I'd be laughing while singing. Okay. And I said, I've got to get her back. And I don't know how to do it because I can be funny, but when I plan jokes, it's terrible. When it's off the cuff, it's usually funny. Right?
Sure. Spontaneous.
Well, I decided I can't, it's not going to be verbal. It's going to have to be something really well planned. So in the 4th act on the final night, I bring her into the bed and I lay her on the bed and she's laying on the bed. And she says under her breath, something really stinks. Something's really bad.
Oh,
I said,
no.
Yeah, something really does stink. And then my other colleagues around were saying, yeah, what is that on stage? And we all talk to each other under our breath on stage and always say shit. And I could see like over the course of the last scene, no one was going near me. And in the last scene, everyone's like always crowding around her and grabbing her hand, petting her like a dog. But no one was, and I was participating in not being near her at the end as well to kind of intimate, what the hell is that smell? What's going on here? And as the curtain fell, I just reached my hand under the pillow and took out a gigantic piece of gorgonzola that I placed under it. And she smacked me really good. She got me hard.
You asked her if she washed her feet.
It was worth it. But come on. We all had a really good laugh. Everyone laughed their asses off.
Oh, Michael, when this is the young lady who was in the boat with you, right? At the point?
No, this is a totally different show.
I'm curious. The girl in the boat, did she even apologize?
No.
Did she like know that she did this? And she's
No.
like, "Kitty, Jesus."
You know,
Just-
I thinking
Was
about
it
cheese.
Jet-
It reminds
Can
me.
you name the singer? No.
It reminds me of cheese. So I was in Marseille, and I like a strong cheese. So I would go to the cheese shop and I'd ask them for the strongest cheese possible. And so I'd show up to rehearsal, and even all the French singers were like, "What is that stench?" And I'm like, "It's my cheese. I love it." So opening night, I came into my dressing room, and they had all bought me the stinkiest cheeses they could find
Ugh,
and left it in my dressing room. It was overwhelming.
that's
Oh,
nasty.
man.
It was overwhelming.
Terrible.
Michael, you said, when you said that she would always try to do something and you never knew when it was coming. My very first experience in opera, my very first show I ever did was in college. I believe it or not, I was Tamino in the Magic Flute, and I had the your
one and
Frozen.
only
There you go.
time.
My
Your
only
one and only-
time. The only time I did
Listen,
Tamino.
gentlemen, I do have to go in like 3 minutes.
You got
I'm
it.
sorry. I'll just make this quick. Anyway, they gave me the locket where I was supposed to get up and sing to Pamina, whatever. I opened it up and it was a picture of a buckwheat saying "Ote." Every night they put a different picture in there. One night Spanky, whatever. Anyway, look. I wanna
Michael,
thank
you've
you
been
for coming
great.
on, Michael. This
Yeah,
has
it's been great.
fun.
Just to all those listeners that get triggered by my jokes, just know that people have really had a lot of jokes at my expense too, and this is a very congenial and fun world that we're in. And if it weren't for laughter and fun with our colleagues, we wouldn't be the same people that we are. So,
Well,
Hey, Michael, I'm going to say you are a great representative for the industry, so keep it up.
yes, thank you for bringing us back, all of us.
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
were happy. We'll
absolutely.
keep you posted. I'll keep you all how it goes, and
Yeah.
you'll
And
all
I'm
know.
going to have you back on. We're going to have you back on, just
Good.
to
I
laugh
still have a
and
lot
shit.
more stories to tell about
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah, and if you get to New Jersey, say hello. I'm out here in Sea Caucus.
Oh,
Hey,
really?
Real
Yeah,
quickly,
man.
when do you wrap up there?
July 28th.
Okay. So yeah, Frank's in Sea Caucus, Oren's in where are you? Brooklyn. And you know where I'm at.
Yeah.
Stay in touch, kid. Let's keep this going. You say goodbye. We're gonna keep this going because we have to wrap up this show.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Hugs,
Thank
kiddo.
you, Michael.
See you.
Oh.
So that was Michael Fabiano. Michael Fabiano's star is rising in the opera world, and
It has risen.
yes.
Oh, yeah, it's risen. Yeah,
Oh,
he's there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's already there.
Very, very articulate, smart, nice guy.
Oh, he's a great guy.
Always.
So listen to all our listeners, all our 13 listeners for the second podcast. No, we're gonna have more. We have all these segments that we like to say stories from the road. We want to start a new what do you call it? What do you call it?
We want to hear from you.
We want to hear from you.
What, call-ins? What is that?
No, well, not
No,
write-ins.
we kind of just
Well, should we
talked about this.
let's give Frank's personal number so
See-
people
see-
can call anytime they want.
That's right. See, you two are in the same place right now, so you've been cohorting on this over the
Yeah.
night, sir.
Yeah,
This
see,
is
now
new
Oren is in my
information.
dining room and I'm in the office.
That's
I'm
right.
just gonna I'm in the dining room.
And this is something new to me. So
No. So
Here downstairs in the bathroom.
well, let's give our email address, and we want to hear from you. Please ask questions, any comments, anything. We want to hear from
And
the
Frank
people
will
listening.
read them on the air.
and then we'll bring them up at other podcasts, right?
Right,
Yeah.
and Frank
Okay.
and
Frank,
Frank's
we're going to have you do them on the air if you don't mind.
I don't mind. No,
That
no.
would be great. Do you mind? Because you read gooder than all of us. I don't. Everybody knows I'm not a reader.
So what's our address? Our address is, Carl.
Opera with fries at gmail.com. Opera with fries at gmail.com. And you can address it to all of us. You can address it to Frank. Make your, and look, as long as they're nice comments, constructive criticisms, whatever, anything nice. If you're mean, I'll delete it and I'll hunt you down.
Yeah, that's
And,
right. So
please,
Mom,
if you want, include your name. We'll read your name on the online, on the air. If you don't want your name, please tell us that as well.
okay, and this is
because
a
we wanna
shout
say-
out. This is a shout out to my mom. Do that because she already gave me her feedback, but I'd like for everybody else to benefit from her feedback. So go ahead,
choose the
Mom,
right end.
and repeat that feedback in an email to us.
Yes, please do. So, guys, you got anything to say? You want to say anything?
Until next time. No, until next time.
Have we gone long enough? Have we wasted people's time? And no, I'm just kidding. Have we gone an hour though?
No, not really. We've gone about 50 minutes. If you want to go a little bit longer, we can talk about some other stuff. Frank, I just love Ron Jeremy, dude. I've been a Ron Jeremy fan since I was old enough.
And we'll say this again, Ron, if you're listening, we'd love to have you on.
Absolutely, Ron.
Because your Tales from the Road, Tales.
Your TAILS.
Yes, quote unquote Tales from the Road would be quite enjoyable for us.
So if anybody out there knows Ron Jeremy, get in touch with Ron and see if he'll come on. We're going to be having some exciting guests. You've heard from the guests that you've heard from, you know who they are. And we're going to have, we're excited. We're going to have other guests on. I'd say the name, but I don't know where we are in the scheduling.
It's a work in progress, but I think it's going to be. I think we're going to be very excited to have these people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, we'll just have Frank dress up as different characters.
Right. Exactly. There you go.
All right. I think we should sign off. I think.
Love you both.
All right.
Man, love you both.
All right. I love you too, brother.
All right.
All right. Goodbye,
Thanks
everyone.
for joining us, Guy.
All right.
Thanks for joining Opera with a Side of Prize.